morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Government seeks opposition support to endorse MCC. UML sticks to its damage of action against 14 defecting lawmakers. Election Commission demands budget of Rs 8 billion to local polls. Says election cost is likely to increase due to inflation. Foreign tourists to get discount on domestic flights in Nepal. Government reaches an understanding with 2 airlines to this effect. Devastating wildfires continue to rage in Argentina. Strong winds, low humidity and drought have fueled wildfires. And Manchester United leave Champions League last 16 tie in balance. Ilanga's late goal saves the night for Red Devils. And now the news in detail. The 9th meeting of energy officials from Nepal and India yesterday began discussions on bilateral cooperation on power, trade and energy sector. Joint Secretary of Energy Ministry Chiranjeevi Chathaut and Director General of the Electricity Department Sanjeev Dev are attending the meeting from Nepal's side, while Joint Secretary of Electricity Ministry of India is leading the Indian delegation. A secretary-level joint directors meeting will be held on today. According to Director General Dev, positive discussions was held on constructions of new Butwal-Gorakhpur cross-border transmission line, upgrading of the capacity of existing transmission lines, and power trade. The two sides agreed to work in unison for the development of energy sector. Today's meeting would take final decision about the matters discussed yesterday. Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba recently held a meeting with CPN UML Chairman KP Sharma Oli at his official residence in Balwatar. A report. The government is seeking support of the main opposition party to endorse the MCC agenda from Parliament. Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba held a meeting with UML Chairman KP Sharma Oli in this regard. UML Chairman Oli was accompanied by the party's Senior Vice President Ishwar Pokhrel, Vice President Vishnu Paudel and Deputy General Secretary Vishnu Rimal during the meeting with Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba. Similarly, Nepali Congress leaders Minendra Rizal and Purna Bahadur Khadga were also present during the meeting. It was the first meeting between Oli and Deuba after the MCC agenda was tabled in Parliament. Prime Minister Deuba was seeking help with the main opposition party to endorse the MCC after the ruling coalition partners CPN Maoist Centre and CPN Unified Socialist decided not to back the MCC in Parliament. During the meeting, Prime Minister Deuba urged Oli to support the government's move to ratify MCC. Oli reiterated his stance that the Parliament must take first action against 14 former UML lawmakers, including Madhav Kumar Nepal, who defected the party. Oli made it clear that the main opposition party will not let the House proceedings to move ahead until their demand is addressed. Protesters have resorted to a creative way to protest against the MCC agenda tabled in Parliament. The protesters, who were chanting slogans during the protest since last week, took a different approach yesterday. The Cultural and Inclusive Department of the ruling CPN Unified Socialist organized a singing program on the streets to protest against the US-funded project. Likewise, 6 other political parties also organized cultural programs to protest against the grant assistance, stating that the MCC is not in the best interest of the country. They also warned the leaders in a creative way not to take the MCC agenda forward. The protesters expressed their belief that the leaders will be able to understand the gravity of the issue if they are made aware through the medium of songs, music and poetry. CPN Unified Socialist Chairman Madhav Kumar Nepal has claimed that his party is a mainstream communist party. Speaking at a program organized at party office yesterday, Chairman Nepal said that he joined politics to liberate the people and to make their lives comfortable, stressing that everyone should have equal access to justice. He said that nobody can treat other in an unfair manner. He also reminded that the Constitution has a provision for proportional representation to ensure equality. Chairman Nepal further said that no one has the right to take inappropriate action in the name of developing the country. He further said that his party is focused on the welfare of people and the country's development. He pointed out the need for people's support for development. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 256 new cases of coronavirus across the country. The total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 976,361, while the number of active cases has dropped to 10,090. Coronavirus claimed 2 more lives across the country, taking the death toll to 11,928. Nepal is currently among top 57 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 80.37 million confirmed cases, followed by India with more than 42.88 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 429.78 million people across the world and claims over 5.93 million lives. The Election Commission has demanded a budget of Rs 8.14 billion to conduct the local elections. The Commission has written a letter to the Ministry of Finance to release the budget for the upcoming election scheduled to be held on May 13. According to the Commission, the total cost incurred during the previous local level election held in 2017 was Rs 7.33 billion. This time, the Election Commission has demanded additional budget of Rs 810 million. The Election Commission argued that the inflation has increased in the last 5 years, while 3.8 million new voters have been added to the list. The Commission further said that the salary of the staffers has also increased during the period and therefore the election cost is likely to increase. During the last election, the Commission had spent Rs 806 million for voters' education. This time, the Commission has demanded only Rs 241.7 million for the same purpose. The Agriculture and Livestock Development Division of the Pokhara Metropolitan City said that the hailstorm that hit Pokhara last Sunday caused a loss of Rs 110 million. Some animals also died due to the massive hailstones, and crops including vegetables and fruits were destroyed. According to Manohar Kadaria, chief of the Pokhara Metropolitan Agriculture Division, Ward 9, 11, 13 and 18 suffered heavy damage while the other wards suffered minor damage. They informed that vegetables, cash crops, fruit, potatoes and other crops have been completely damaged in the wards due to hailstorm. 2 buffaloes of Uday Organic Agriculture Farm run by Falgun Gurung in Pokhara Metropolitan City, Ward number 11, died in the incident. Similarly, vegetable tunnels have collapsed. According to Gurung, the farm has suffered a loss of Rs 2 million. Similarly, the Gorkhali Manakamana nursery run by Keharman Gurung in Pokhara Ward 11 has also been severely damaged. Commercial farming is done in an area of 2,181 hectares in 33 wards of Pokhara metropolis. And now the news from economic front. Foreign tourists can now enjoy a discount in airfare in Nepal, a report. The Tourism Revitalization Steering Committee has inked an agreement with Buddha Air and Yeti Airlines to provide a discount in the airfare to foreign tourists to attract more external tourists. As per the agreement, foreign tourists will be charged an amount equal to fare that Nepali passengers pay for domestic flights. The committee formed under the chairmanship of Minister of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation Prem Bahadur Ale entered the agreement with the private airlines to ensure a concession in the domestic airfare for foreigners. Foreigners travelling by air within Nepal had been paying nearly a double fare that Nepalis used to pay for the ticket for the domestic flights due to the policy adopted by the government. There were growing concerns among the foreigners travelling to Nepal that they were charged more than the locals for air tickets and they should be charged the same rate as that of Nepalis. Coordinator of the committee, Rajaram Giri, that they made the same proposal with other private airlines and they too are positive about it. Furthermore, the committee has appealed with the agencies concerned to coordinate and collaboration with the stakeholders to identify new prospects for tourism sectors and enable invest-friendly atmosphere in this sector. The committee has requested the COVID-19 Crisis Management Center to simplify and amend the travel criteria put in place by the government for the passengers traveling in and out of Nepal considering the decline in rate of COVID-19 infection in the country and across the world. Likewise, the Hotel Association of Nepal has also decided to provide a discount up to 20% to the foreign tourist for booking hotel rooms in a bid to revive the tourism industry that has been hit hard by COVID-19 pandemic. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. Wildfires in Argentina's north have continued to spread through the province of Corrientes, where officials said fires had devastated at least 9% of its territory. The flames are consuming about 30,000 hectares a day in Corrientes, destroying almost 800,000 hectares so far, according to the latest official reports. Strong winds, low humidity and dryness from drought have helped the fires spread since mid-January. The mainly rural province of farms, ranches and forests normally is characterized by abundant rain. Authorities estimate losses so far at more than 26 billion Argentine pesos and experts say the province could need years to recover. Firefighting units have begun to arrive from all corners of Argentina and also from Brazil and Bolivia. Artists and public figures are campaigning to raise funds for the victims while donation of basic goods are pouring into the area. Ukraine leader has pledged for peace as is allegedly getting ready for an invasion of the former Soviet Union nation. Ukraine President Volodymyr has vowed a defense in case of a Russian attack. The Ukraine president said Putin ignored his invitation for talks and that Ukraine will fight back if needed. Ukraine has already imposed a nationwide state of emergency amid fears of Russian invasion. The crisis has prompted the US and European allies to impose sanctions on some Russian banks and citizens. But China, a longtime Russian ally, is refraining from following suit. White House says it is in touch with Ukrainian authorities over their cyber security needs in wake of reports of a fresh cyber attack against the country. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has told the General Assembly the world is facing a moment of peril over the Ukraine-Russia crisis. You are watching Janata Bulletin and now the latest from the world of sports. Teenager Anthony Ilanga came to Manchester United's rescue at his 80th minute strike, secured a 1-1 draw with Atletico Madrid in the first leg of their Champions League last 16 tie at the Wanda Metropolitano. United were seeking to emulate the three other English sides left in the Champions League by securing a first leg lead in the first knockout round, and Ralf Rangnick said on the eve of the trip to Madrid that he was prioritizing this competition. But his side fell behind within 7 minutes to kick off in Spain. Having cleared the initial corner, Atleti left back Renan Lodi swung in a cross from the left that Joao Felix raced past Harry Maguire to greet with a stunning header that went in off the near post. With away goals no longer counting, in Europe it means its tie is firmly in the balance ahead of the return leg at Old Trafford on Tuesday, March 15. Liverpool moved to within 3 points of Premier League leaders Manchester City with a rip-roaring 6-0 win over Leeds at Anfield. Mohamed Salah converted 2 penalties and assisted Joel Matip before the break against a shell-shocked Leeds, and the host maintained dominance after the interval with Sadio Mane netting a double and Virgil van Dijk heading home a sixth in stoppage time. A fixture that promised goals duly delivered as Jurgen Klopp's side exploited the visitors' customary open approach against the top teams, with the first half played at the frenetic pace. The sixth and final blow of Leeds came in stoppage time with Virgil van Dijk heading from unopposed form a Robertson corner. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Support to Indoors MCC, UML streaks to demands of action against 14 defecting lawmakers. Election Commission demands budget of Rs 8 billion for local polls, says election cost is likely to increase due to inflation. Foreign tourists to get discount on domestic flights in Nepal, government reaches an understanding with 2 airlines to this effect. Devastating wildfires continues to rage in Argentina. Strong winds, low humidity and drought have fueled wildfire. And Manchester United leave Champions League last 16 tie in balance. Ilanga's late goal saves the night for Red Devils. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.